Mortal Coil is a production company that was set up by me and Callum Raybould.
It was really something to combine both disciplines and something that would have creative control in both mediums and not be an amateur at one or the other.
We chose the name Mortal Coil because we're both great fans of Shakespeare.
I think Shakespeare was a really interesting jumping off point. I mean,
Yeah.
we had to prove that we knew it and loved it, and yet we would produce a lot of very young modern stuff. I think if you look at any other company who make plays or films involving young people and young talent, it's always about very young subjects, and we needed to prove we knew our stuff, we knew our shit.
And it's a perfect monologue to quote because the depth in that monologue is enormous. Famously, was it David Tennant? Yeah, David Tennant was cast as Hamlet, and they spent 4 weeks on that one monologue. And I think it proves, if we quote a monologue like that, that we have depth. Even the opening line, it makes people think about it, to be or not to be. That's Mortal Coil.
And it's such a big, it encompasses, the actual meaning of the phrase encompasses something so huge. It is humankind as a whole, it is mortality, it is people who have a short lifespan, and you know, the symbol we chose as well, the marathon, the flower that is always blooming, that doesn't die, it doesn't wither. We do want to make an impact, and we wanted to say something big, something epic, something bold, and something that will last a long time, I think. And it was strong and it was stark, and I think it does sum us up quite well. Yeah. How me and Josh met was quite interesting. I was on a media course at the time trying to learn film, obviously, and I didn't have much, any experience in acting or stage at all, and I had to do some additional learning in a different subject, so I chose acting, and that's really where I started to fall in love with acting and stage and all that, but it's also where I first met Josh. And first lesson I was in there was a group discussion, and we had about 8 to 10 actors in there, Josh and me being 2 of those, and a subject was brought up, and everyone else fell silent, so I expressed myself, and it turned out that Josh expressed himself too, and we were the only 2 real talkers in the group, and we did not stop talking.
We're all sitting around a circle, and up until this point it was just me giving out opinions, and everybody was quiet, which I liked, to be honest. I liked being the only one with the power, yeah. But then, a topic came up, I forget what it was about a character or something, and Callum said something spot on, absolutely perfect. And of course I had to disagree, because if I didn't disagree then he would look like the alpha, yeah. So that day I disagreed with everything, and then I think we met by the lifts because I wanted to do a scene with him from Schindler's List. And it kind of just went on from there, and we're very good friends now. Yeah, he keeps me sane.
Well, having 2 artistic directors is an interesting thing to have. I wouldn't say there are any conflicts of interest. It's more like we have our own jurisdictions.
I haven't really come across anything yet. There's differences between the way we work. We're bound to be. We're trained differently. No, I don't think so, actually.
What we aspire to be like, I don't think we've looked at another existing company and thought we want to be like that. I think we were both very determined to make Mortal Coil something quite new. I can't think of any other examples of a company that has endeavours in both film and theatre to both be of equally high standing. And I also think that the fact we are quite young and starting off is one of our biggest plus points and one of our most unique features, I think.
The person who inspires me is Nigel Holman. He's the lecturer on the acting course. I see him more of a director than a lecturer. He has this brilliant aura around him that just creates respect. People respect him and he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't even have to raise his voice. People feel the knowledge behind him and know that this is someone who you should listen to. That's what I want to be like. I want to be able to, yeah, change people for the better whilst directing. And I want that respect. It's new, it's fresh, it has a weight with it. We really love what we do, we're really passionate about what we do.
It's the passion of youth, but it's also making a statement to people of our age. It is disproving that. It's
telling everyone that those people sitting outside not doing anything isn't what our generation is. Our generation is about actually doing something, actually comprehending that we can change the world.
We plan to tour everything we do. Whether it comes off or not, we'll see. But I think touring, well, it's vital not only to our stage plays, but also to any of my film work. It's all about spreading ourselves, our company, and our beliefs as well.
I always want to tour every single piece of my work because I want more people to see it. What's the point in putting that much hard work in if no one's going to see it? When our first production, Sleuth, came about, I wanted to tour that. I wanted to take it everywhere. I think once I'm not being arrogant, but I saw that Sleuth was good work, and someone I really look up to saw that Sleuth was good work. There's only a few times in my life that I've watched a show and be inspired by it. The last time was Pillow Man. I know it wasn't a professional show, but because of the magnitude and the talent of the actors, and because of the interesting process that happened, I was inspired by it to do more.
I think our plans for the future are sort of, well, everything. I think me and Josh have agreed we want to do everything, but also do it all sooner, I think, than the industry dictates. I think there's, especially in the film industry, you don't tend to see anybody under the age of 25 in certain roles, and we wanted to create those roles for ourselves and do them.
I want everything. I want the company to have money behind it. I want the company to have its own theatre. I want the company to start producing films. Yeah, it's going to sound very arrogant, but I want to quote John Dillinger. Someone asked him where he was going, and he repeated, anywhere I want. And that's exactly where I'm going, than where Mortal Coil is going.
Obviously, the amount of ideas I have, I could choose to do anything, but I tried to look at things which would be most beneficial to us as Mortal Coil at this stage of our company, and what would be best is a web series, actually, very short episodes on a monthly basis, and just to generate viewers really and interest without having to put too much money in or having to spend too much on publishing or whatever. You can put these things on the internet for free. So I've started developing the idea for a very eccentric crime series, which I hope to make a pilot of next year, and then once we get the camera set up in, we can start making it on a monthly basis. And I think it will always be very useful for us to have a project that crops up every month that we can put a little bit into, because it's not like creating a film and letting it sit there for a couple of years for people to watch it. It's proving that we're still alive, our heart is still beating, and we're still always cranking out something.
I've got several projects in the pipeline. The first one being, it felt lonely at first when the heart left, but it's all right now, which is a one-woman show. Well, I'm turning it into a one-woman show. Yeah. yeah, it's not regular that I get to work with people with that much talent, so I'm looking forward to that. Also, I've got, a play that I wrote called Losing My Mind to the Space Pigs, which I'm looking forward to putting on at some point. I'd also like to put on several extant plays. For example, I'd like to have a go at Jerusalem. I'd like to have a go at Written on the Heart, which was recently done by the RSC. And I'd like to put myself in something. I was watching Pillar Man a couple of days ago, and it's the first play I've watched and thought, I really want to be in that. So yeah, I want to be in a play of my own, directing. Our Lads, to me, the way I wrote it, I wanted it to be a statement. I wanted it to be a harsh statement to the British public. I wanted it to be a blinding light that can't be ignored. Point is, men, women dying over in Afghanistan. They died in Iraq. And the one time I got really inspired to write this play was I was watching the news, and I forget the footballer's name. It's not important, he's just a footballer. But there was a British soldier's death. And the news reporter, if I recreate the moment, he said, there's been another British soldier died in Afghanistan. But on to more important news, the football! That really pissed me. It wasn't done like that, but it really pissed me off. I think if this British public, okay, if someone died for you, if someone jumped in front of a bullet for you, you'd remember their name forever. That's technically what their soldiers are doing, our soldiers are doing over there. They're taking bullets for us. World War II we had that, World War I we had that, so why not now? Because people care less and less about it. People care less about the country, so they care less about the soldiers. Not the point. These soldiers died for us. They deserve to be remembered in my mind. People may disagree with me in that, but if I was a soldier's father, mother, I'd want at least one member of the British public to care more about them than they do about the football. The process of Our Lads has been one of toil. It hasn't been easy, it hasn't been difficult, but it's been in between. The way we did it was the first weekend we started training. We tried to get as close to the army as what we could. Obviously we're dealing with actors, not soldiers, so it had to be toned down a lot. That went on for several weeks, and then we started putting the ranks in. For example, the highest rank in the theatre world is director. So I took the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, which is in the Lieutenant Colonel, who's in the play anyway, so it works. Also we have the character Richard, played by Callum Raybould, who's a sergeant. We have Callum with one L, Ralphie, who plays a lieutenant. We have Joe, who plays the lieutenant. So this ranking system needed to be built in from quite early on. So it's if a lieutenant or someone higher ranking than you asks you a question, it's no longer yes Josh, it's yes sir. Straight from day one, so they start to get it. I can still now, even though we scrapped the ranking system because we're so close to it, I can still tell them to plank and they still do it. I do it for a joke, but they still do it because the ranking system has been built in now. Support, mainly. I think if people watch this and say they like what we're doing, then maybe they'll say we'll help them out or we'll give them some contacts or something like that. Also, I think theatre is never made just to be violent. I think some films are. I think Saw was made just to be gory, but I don't think theatre ever is. I think theatre is supposed to affect people. If one person out of the 400 that we might have coming to see it sheds a tear or thinks for a moment about these characters and what they're going through and relate that to the real world, like Iraq and Afghanistan, well, mainly Afghanistan now, I'll be happy.
believe Our Lads is going to make a statement about ourselves. It's going to make a statement about our ability, our passion, our drive, and the calibre of the people involved. And I think of all the plays we could have attempted, it's probably one of the best ones to open with, I think. If it's going to be our first, it's going to be people's first impressions of us. And I think Our Lad says just the right things about us. And I think it's going to be a very good first step for Mortal Coil. I think I'd like to make an impact on society by changing its point of view on both theatre and film. I love working with both, and I love watching both. And it's only coming here and working with lovers of theatre that I realise quite how much it has to offer to a younger generation. The impact I would like to make on society is to bring those two experiences together, to spread both the love of theatre to a younger generation, and show them that if theatre is made by people who are serious and seriously love it, they will enjoy it a heck of a lot more than they thought they would. I'd like to change society's opinion of it and help them to realise how much they can love it.
There's a quote that I want to use, and I'll change it slightly. I don't want to be a product of theatre. I want the theatre to be a product of me. I want to change the theatre world. I want people to be moved by it. I want people to start going to the theatre and not go because it's a special occasion, but go to the theatre like they would go to see a film and cry about it, laugh about it, experience it.